Hey everybody, I'm Courtenayhachey, cookbook author and blogger. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Court of Kitchen. Today I'm making a very simple and easy Mexican chicken, black bean, rice, all in one baking dish. Let's start going. We'll start with the vegetables. So I'm using 2 common vegetables for any type of Mexican dish. I'm using a red bell pepper. Now this red bell pepper is quite large. I'm gonna use about 3/4 of it. If you have a normal sized red bell pepper, then use the whole thing. I think the best way to get rid of it, just seed it. There's no reason to cut around the top and do all that, and just take the seeds out. And then I just want to dice on this. So always go from the inside. It's easier to cut. Don't cut from the skin side as your knife. And then just like a smaller dice, like that. That's it. Then I'm just gonna put this in a big bowl. And then we're gonna move on to red onion. I'm using a red onion because I think they're extra sweet, and we have a lot of savory things going on in this dish. But you could, of course, use a yellow onion or white onion. Just a half of a large one. You know how we do this. We don't go in this way. There's no reason to. The planet Earth gave it to us in layers. So we just go straight down. And again, I'm going for about a small dice. So you get on a few times. Always put it flat. You don't hurt yourself, and then just straight down. Okay, now to the veg, let's put together our spice mixture that's going to go in with everything. Again, this is all going in one 9 by 13 inch baking dish. Okay, so this is way more than we're using today. So don't get me wrong. I like to put big portions together and have this for any kind of Mexican dish that I make. I just pull the spice mixture out and I could use it for anything. So what I have here is 2 tablespoons of cumin, 2 tablespoons of chili powder, 1 tablespoon of granulated garlic, 1 tablespoon of granulated onion, a tablespoon of hot smoked paprika. If you don't like heat, just use paprika. 1 tablespoon of oregano, a tablespoon of salt, and a half a tablespoon of black pepper. I'll just put this in a pantry safe, an air safe container. And anytime you need it, when you're making tacos, burritos, chili, quesadillas, Mexican chopped salad, pull it out and put it on your protein. It's delicious. I don't like doing things a lot of times in small portions because it's a pain in the butt to get all the seasonings out. So why not just have it in your pantry so it's ready whenever you need it? So that's what this is. So I'm just gonna mix this together. I'm gonna move this stuff back here because I have a tiny kitchen and things get lost. I get overcrowded. Okay, so we're just gonna mix this together. So this is what we're going to be putting both in the rice and on our chicken. I'm using bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs, which we will address last. I like to do all the veg and spices first and get your hands dirty with the protein last, so we don't ever cross-contaminate, obviously. So now here for the beans. I said we're putting black beans in, right? So here's our black beans. 1 can, make sure you rinse them good. You don't want all that black, it'll get tarry looking on you at the end. And then your favorite jarred salsa, 1 cup. I like 365 medium chunky. Chunky is better for this. You get more texture at the end of the bake. So use your favorite, and then mix this together. Again, this is all going in the same place. Now is where we're gonna add our spice mix that we just made. So for the spice mix, I'm thinking at this point in here for the veg, we need 2 teaspoons of the spice mix.
Teaspoons or tablespoons?
Teaspoons, because we're gonna put a lot also in the rice and on the chicken. So that's enough for here. That spice mix, as you just saw, has a lot of flavor in it. Okay, so now let's address the chicken. I'm gonna pull that over here. Here's our chicken. Okay, so as I said, bone in, skin on thighs. Now, when you get your thighs, you want to keep the skin on. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not going to get crunchy for you because we have to cover this when we put it in the oven. So you're probably not gonna want to eat the skin, but you do want to keep it on because it's flavor for the whole dish and it gives a lot of moisture. So keep the skin on, but what we're gonna do, as you can see, I pull this back and then I'm gonna flavor, because we'll probably pull the skin off, I'm gonna flavor the actual meat itself. So that if we do take the skin off, the meat has flavor. Makes sense, right? I think so. And then I do put it on the skin as well, in case your skin turns out to where you want to eat it, right? So I'm gonna do this to all of them. Now, it all depends on where you get your chicken, of course. Sometimes you get there's just too much skin that could make your bake turn out a little bit too greasy. Just trim it, like this one right here. This one right here, I didn't trim. I trimmed the other ones. When you pull it this way, you have quite a bit there, and the other side here, that's a lot. To me, I don't need that. I don't want that. So I trim it. I want the skin, but you don't want it to a point that you're going to make, again, it greasy. Oh, I don't want to get rid of all of it. So now we have all the seasoning underneath on the meat in case we don't eat the skin. Now for the rest of this, that's a lot of flavor. Okay, so for the rest of this, now we're gonna pull this all together. I'm gonna move this over here. I'm gonna move this. I did put a little oil, just olive oil, in the bottom of the baking dish. And that's all you need, because there's so much going on in here. You really don't need anything else. We're going to put all of our veg in first. It's heavy. All our veg goes in first. Just lay it out. A nice layer. Now, rice, long grain rice. I like jasmine. Make sure when you're making, anytime you want a fluffy rice or anytime you use long grain rice, you must rinse it underwater or you'll end up with that, why is my rice never fluffy? That's why, because you didn't rinse it. This is 1 cup of rice. Just get it out, obviously. This is one of those baked dishes that when you start, it doesn't look like much. It's going to grow by leaps and bounds. Now, I'm going to put, go figure, I'm gonna put some cheese in. This is a Mexican cheese blend. I'm gonna put in about a, you know what, let me put the liquids in first so that the cheese just doesn't stick to the rice. I'm gonna put in 2 cups. Now we already have a cup of our salsa, which is liquid. I'm gonna put in 2 cups. And we'll see where it goes. If this doesn't come above the rice, you need more. It's just that generic. Usually rice is 2 to 1 anyway. But if this doesn't come above the rice, this is going into a 350-degree oven, covered for 30 minutes. I think it needs a tiny bit more. I'm gonna put another about 1/4 cup in there. For 30 minutes, covered, and then after 30 minutes, take it off for about another 20. And it will still look a little wet for you, but it has to rest. It's one of those baked dishes for about 20 minutes afterwards, and that rice will suck up at that time. So now, the cheese. I think it's better if we do the cheese now because I don't want to just stick it to the rice like that. And if you don't want cheese in it, it's not gonna make a miraculous difference. I just have a hard time saying no to cheese with any Mexican dish. And now just place on.
Who you kidding? Any dish.
There you have it. Doesn't have to be Mexican, that's for sure. Then place on. Try to equally distribute them out so they have a little bit of room. And then I'm gonna put on foil. And I'm gonna put this, like I said, 350-degree oven for 30 minutes covered. Take the cover off after 30 minutes and let it go for another 20 minutes uncovered. Take it out and it has to, like any baked dish, it does. It has to rest for at least 15 to 20 minutes. Everything will come together and absorb. And when we come back, I'll show you how it looks after it's all puffy and the rice is done and the chicken is done. It's amazing. See it a little bit. We're back with our Mexican chicken, black bean, and rice bake. Now it was in the oven for 30 minutes covered, uncovered it, and then it looked like it was still a little too wet for me. So I let it uncovered instead of 20 minutes for 30 minutes instead. And then no matter what, it's still gonna look really wet on top when you take it out. It really is. But believe me, as it rested, and this rested, you see that steam, how hot it still is? This rested for 20 minutes and it's still really hot. All that rice, everything will soak up all those liquids. Let me move this over here so you can see a little better. Everything came together exactly how it should. Now for the sides, anything you like on any Mexican dish. You do more salsa, you do sour cream, you put more cheese on top. I'm just going with greens today. Lime, some jalapeno if you're a heat seeker, and then some scallions and some cilantro. That's all I'm putting on. I'm gonna just put it right on my rice. Put out whatever you think your family likes. Again, anything you would put on any Mexican dish. And now, see, that one flying. Now see, this is kind of, hey, if you don't mind a little bit of a chewy skin, you could eat this skin all day. Very, very flavorful, but I'm not gonna eat it. You can take it off and put it in the oven at 400 degrees and make it crispy. But this is what we're looking for. Look at that chicken. That is as juicy gets. That's amazing. So, I mean, this is just a homey Mexican dish. If you love Mexican food, you and your family are gonna love this dish. There's no other way to go. You're talking chicken, beans, and rice. So get in the kitchen and make this for your family and friends. They're gonna love it. So your likes, shares, and comments always make me happy. Please send them to me because I can't get any better if you don't give me suggestions, and I wanna get better for you. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. And remember, hit that cute little bell icon over there. If you haven't checked out my books, Continental Taste Volume 1 and Chowders and Shakeups for the Week, Taste Volume 2 before you know it. And until I see you again very soon, as always, know that I'm always sending hugs. This is a belly pleaser.